Good morning. I'm Kathy Ryder, Board Liaison for Membership Services this year. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation. We are a religious community who commit ourselves to diversity. We hope to nourish human differences, those of gender, race, age, ability, sexual orientation, political views, culture, class, and religious belief. Welcome to all who treasure freedom of conscience in the search for truth. We promise to do our best to provide you with a spiritual home. We extend a special welcome to our visitors today. We hope you will follow our UUC Facebook page and stay tuned for other events such as our Monday virtual Vespers, Wonderful Wednesdays, and Coffee and Theology on Fridays at 9 a.m. Also, families can follow our UUC Religious Exploration Facebook page. There's Children's Chapel every Sunday at 11, Boredom Busters on Tuesday and Thursday mornings, and Storybook Time with Ms. Jenna on Saturdays. We're so excited to have you join us today.
Our opening words this morning are from an excerpt from Belonging, Remembering Ourselves Home by Tokapa Turner. Sometimes you have to withdraw to enter. Though it may seem counterintuitive, pulling back your energy is like drawing the bow to find the aim before releasing your arrow with precision. We are just like the earth, from whom we take so much and give back too little. Our energy body has so much to give, but needs to be harnessed sustainably. It requires subtle inquiry, careful listening, clear boundaries, and periods of grace. If we are to come into right relationship with the earth, we need to also practice yielding to the rhythms of our own bodies. Come, let us worship together. I invite you to light your chalice in your home with me. Our words today are by Wendell Berry, The Art of the Commonplace, the Agrarian Essays. The care of the earth is our most ancient and most worthy, and after all, our most pleasing responsibility. To cherish what remains of it and to foster its renewal is our only legitimate hope.
Our guest speaker this morning is Jan Carroll. She's a longtime member of our congregation, and she has served as a lay minister and currently leads 2 poetry groups at UUC. She is the host of the 6x6 reading series and a member of the Poets of the Eau Claire writing group. Her 2 books are River and With What's Left, Gardening, Earth Tending, and Keeping On in the Midst of the Climate Crisis. And this is the one that she's sharing from today. She lives in Eau Claire and works in healthcare. She looks forward to her garden this year. Thank you so much to our guest speaker, Jan Carroll, for sharing with us today.
Good morning. Happy Earth Day. I wanted to share a few pieces from my book, With What's Left, with you today. Some of the book is about gardening and trying to reconnect with Earth through that activity, and part of it is about the climate crisis that we're facing and trying to take better care of the Earth. Today I wanted to just pick 3 readings that were maybe a little bit more uplifting. There are pieces in the book that talk more about the more dire aspects of climate change, and that's something we really need to think about. But today, we're going through a lot of other stuff, and I think it would just be better if I read these more uplifting pieces. I do encourage you all to think about having a garden this year to feed yourself and your family, and also to reconnect and tend the earth in that way. So happy Earth Day. I want to apologize if you hear some panting in any of this. That is my dog, Ellie, and she just wanted to say hi to all of you as well. In the forest. At the visitor center, the solar system depicted in a line of fabric balloons is strung across the back of the learning space. The ranger, in a cheery mood, highlights his favorite trails, ends up mentioning all of them, estimates how long it will take to traipse along them, notes what we might see. Though my friend and I both have the same map open in our hands, we can't find the trailhead until we ask 3 people and triangulate. Then we're in the woods. So many dragonflies. White pine, birch, oak, and other trees we aren't sure the names of. I almost step on a leopard skin frog, not seeing it till it jumps. Then I can't make out where it is, it's so camouflaged. Both male and female black swallowtail butterflies sun at pass edge. We skirt the river. The weather's good. A cadre of field scientists with nets, clipboards, and sample boxes break for lunch down by the lake. We do too, only at a pub in the village. Then we head out of town again, park on the side of some county road, my friend sure this time exactly where it is. A great blue heron sails over us into the sun. We hike in. It's not long till we hear the roar of waterfall, a fairly steep climb, avoiding poison ivy. At the top, a makeshift shelter of interwoven limbs. Going back down, we choose our steps carefully. We breathe it all in. I try to make a movie of it with my phone, but it's too big. The tiny device can't capture it. I resolve to just remember. Being there in the forest, one with the woods, for a while, invigorated and calmed, awe deepened, adventurized, comforted, taken in, sweaty, thirsty, happy, alive. Checking on my plot in the community garden early June. Saw the first sulfur butterfly, I think a little wing. They don't sit still long. The first dragonflies, like tiny helicopters, only beautiful, escorting me. Intricately delicate, not man-made, not mechanical. Could have been damselflies. Either way, they were scarcely visible. The kale was up, tiny overcrowded huddles. I planted too many seeds in one bunch. Actually, I confess, they kept falling out of the packet. One bean sprout has broken ground. The tomato starts are settling in nicely. Dare I say it? Almost no weeds. The skate park kids never bother me. I need to bring the shears and clean up the rough stuff around the fence. I said I would. Looks like someone cut off a little bush, but it fell on one of the marigolds I put in corners for cheeriness. In the half plot next to that, an onion plant is growing rogue from last year's leftovers, even after the city came in and tilled everything. In the parking lot, a woman was bringing stencils to repaint the bilingual activities for children on the walk down by the fishing pier. I saw an osprey dive down toward the lake, but it never reappeared. Must have flown down under the rise in the ground, over where they cut down so many trees trying to obliterate an invasive species. Last season's morning glory vines intertwined in the chain link are yellowed and stiff now. I used to water every day it didn't rain. Now I know better, not to overdo it. Now, if the voles underground eat away the heart of the beets before I ever pull them, I'll understand their hunger. I won't set traps. We're all just trying to get by. This is how, now, I'll garden. Harvest. One day soon, I don't know when, that one sweet bell pepper will be ready to pluck from the sucker of its steadfast vine, watched over by two marigolds, one on either side. Because it's the only one I've been given, how much more divine it will be to taste when I sit down to eat it. I may have to bring candles to the table for that meal, use the nice silverware. The beans, however, zenith over and over, needing to be picked 2 or 3 times a week. They too are worth savoring, steamed and set out with a dollop of butter, a sprinkling of salt, enough to toss 1 or 2 to the good dog sitting so nicely, not begging, a treat. Ripeness is a point reached rhythmically throughout the growing season, not just one apex, not the mountaintop scaled after much trudging and climbing, sometimes searching desperately for that one foothold, everything after that downhill, kind of a letdown, a denouement. Sure, the potatoes might all be ready underground by now, their tops yellowed and bent over, but they're fine if you don't dig them up all in one fell swoop. They will wait, protected in the depths, till the air gets crisp. Ditto the carrots. On the other hand, leafy greens, choice stalks cut out here and there, keep filling salad plates through at least late July. You and I, our attempts, our tries, our failings, picking ourselves up, each of us with our own unique timings, ripen our offerings, reach new heights when it's right, when that living thing has reached its own fruition. Harvest in this way is a state of mind, an ongoing part of the life cycle, a way of gradually gathering in what we've grown and using it to keep growing.
Now is the time in our service where we celebrate our joys and concerns Here in this sacred space and in this community of care, we invite you to share your deepest joys and concerns. We normally light candles when we're together, so today we invite you to post your comments in the streaming as you're watching right now. And just extending our thoughts out to those who we haven't seen in a while in our circle of care. Alta Bragg continues to recover at Care Partners, and I've been hearing from many of you about how you're doing. I hope you'll keep checking in. Some of our caring committee volunteers have been calling members, as well as our lay ministers have been calling members just to check in. We all like to know how things are going since we aren't able to see each other face to face. I'm going to hold the space right now for you to share your joys and concerns. I've been thinking about those who are separated from family right now. I know my dad is in Asheville, and I've missed being able to think about visiting him anytime soon, and have had him on my heart and mind at this time. We also keep in mind those who are on our streets of Eau Claire. We served at Community Table this past Saturday, and it was a great affair. We kept our distance, wore our mask, and put together a meal. And it was always a great experience to serve together at the Community Table. Hold out this candle for those joys and concerns too tender to escape the folds of our hearts. We'll close our joys and concerns with these words. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another.
So on Monday, I was on a call with people from 17 countries as the only North American representative, in which we talked about what it meant for us to be in the time of the COVID, and what it meant for us to do this work around, like, where are we trying to go in the world, understanding what's happening with extraction, understanding what's happening with mining, understanding what's happening in terms of environment and environmental degradation, and what we have to do to actually craft alternative and solid economy in traditional systems that will actually, like, lead us to sustainability and lead us to resiliency and lead us to restore Earth and a restore planet. And on that call, the thing that struck me the most, which is a deep theological question, is the theological question around, do we honor each other's humanity? Do we honor what the earth is for us, both as a guider, a teacher, a nurturer, a protector, like the earth as like us, right? Like we are not separate. And what it means for us to be in this time where we are facing one of the largest pandemics of our ever. And for my generation, it is the only thing that has actually touched everybody. And so we're in a moment where we have to reflect on who matters, right? Like, do we actually believe that all of us matter? Do we believe that the people who are like literally being destroyed by mining matter? Do we believe that everyone has the right to clean water and that you shouldn't have to choose between washing your hands in sewage? Do we believe that we are in a time that is actually calling on us to have a different conversation? That's actually not about economics. That's not about any of it. But what it is about is community care, is about wholeness, is about going back to the village, going back to community where we actually believe that we are put on this earth to take care of and nurture each other, our planet, and our world. Because if we truly believe that every living creature is worthy and that we are also worthy, then how we move with the earth, her resources, how we move with ourselves will be entirely different.
So I guess, Alandria, that was so beautiful. And the only thing that's coming to my heart to add is just an expression of deep love and solidarity for the youth who are seeing what's needed and really connecting to that spirit and inspiring all of us, just really creating hope when there was no hope for so many people, and having energy and faith and determination in a way that that is so deeply needed. And as I know from previous conversations, both of us, the youth and the community built in our youth programs is so deep and important to our faith community and to what it means to have a faith community. So I just want to lift up the youth who are leading this charge in so many beautiful ways.
Yep. Thank you, Allie.
Thank you, Alandria.
Hi, this is Scott Fulton, President of the Prairie Enthusiasts. On behalf of our organization, I'd like to thank you at the Unitarian Universalist Society in Eau Claire for your 50-50 Share the Plate contribution to our organization. The mission of the Prairie Enthusiasts is to restore and preserve prairies, oak savannas, and other related natural communities of the upper Midwest. These land-based ecosystems harbor more biodiversity per unit area than any other on Earth, including the Amazon rainforest. What they have in common is dependency on fire for their survival. First Nation peoples burned these landscapes frequently prior to European settlement, and the suppression of fire, together with conversion to agriculture, have caused the loss of all but a few small remaining remnants. The Prairie Enthusiasts is a volunteer-based community conservation organization with 11 local chapters in Wisconsin, Minnesota, and Illinois, including our Chippewa Savannah chapter in the Eau Claire, Menominee area. We are an accredited land trust so that we can protect land in perpetuity for conservation. We also work to educate people about the natural history and best management practices for these natural communities. But most importantly, we get out and work on the land to restore these treasures to ecological health for future generations. To do this, our volunteers partner with other organizations, conservation professionals, government agencies, and, very importantly, private landowners like Karen and Marty Voss, who I understand are members of your congregation. Please check us out on the web or Facebook, and thank you again very much for this unexpected but certainly welcome show of support.
Now is the time in our service where we have the giving. Normally we would share the plate across our aisles, and this time we do it online at ueauclaire.com. You can support our 50-50 Share the Plate recipient, which we heard from Prairie Enthusiast. You could also mail in your donation to 421 South Farwell Street, and we have our office manager who collects those deposits during the week. Thank you so much for sharing your gifts with this congregation, both monetary and volunteer, and just being a part of this community. With gratitude for the abundance in our lives, we give to help people in need and to share and support the work of this congregation. Thank you.
This is a reading by Robin Wall Kimmerer, Braiding Sweetgrass, Indigenous Wisdom, Scientific Knowledge, and the Teachings of Plants. In some native languages, the term for plants translates to those who take care of us. Action on behalf of life transforms because the relationship between self and the world is reciprocal. It is not a question of first getting enlightened or saved and then acting. As we work to heal the earth heals us. The land knows you, even when you are lost. Knowing that you love the earth changes you, activates you to defend and protect and celebrate. But when you feel that the earth loves you in return, the feeling transforms the relationship from a one-way street into a sacred bond.
From all that dwells below the skies, let songs of hope and faith arise. Let peace, goodwill on earth be sung. Through every land, by every tongue.
The name of this reading is We Need One Another, and it is by George E. Odell.
We need one another when we mourn and would be comforted.
We need one another when we are in trouble and afraid.
We need one another when we are in despair, in temptation, and need to be recalled to our best selves again.
We need one another when we would accomplish some great purpose and cannot do it alone.
We need one another in the hour of success, when we look for someone to share our triumphs.
We need one another in the hour of defeat, when, with encouragement, we might endure and stand again.
We need one another when we come to die, and would have gentle hands prepare us for the journey.
All our lives we are in need, and others are in need of us.
Please join me in saying the words for extinguishing your chalice at home. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Our closing words today are by Eric Williams. May the firmness of the earth be yours. May the flow of the water be yours. May the freedom of the air be yours. May the fierceness of the fires be yours. May all the gifts of this life, the below and the above, be with you now and remain with you always. Go in peace.